Hello and welcome to the Freckled Hearth. My name is Melissa. I'm a bookworm and a mum of two. So we're going to focus on books as that is my number one hobby and thing I still have time for these days. So in this episode I have some new bookshelves. This is them, a little bit of a spoiler, this is them actually finished, but I'm going to take you on the journey to getting them to this stage of organising them, unhauling them, and a few chats along the way. Let's get started. Hello, welcome to my new bookshelves. I started organising these yesterday and filmed that, but as I lost all my footage yesterday, we're going to have to redo it again. I have no idea really how I'm organising these shelves. I'm just going to get these all off and see where we end up. I think the general rule, because they have this sort of, I don't know if you can see that, so it's glass on the top half and wood on the bottom half. So I think the hidden bit I think will be books that I have read, and I think the parts behind the glass will be the books behind the glass will be then books either from my favourite authors or on my TBR, so that I can come in and easily see where they are and pick them out. That's the general thinking at the moment. Have not thought about whether I should put them in alphabetical order or anything like that. So let's see how we do. I'm also trying to take them off the shelves in some sort of a author order because they got all mixed up. How many Fourth Wing books editions do I have? Three. So with that theory, I have read all of these. They're technically okay. I'm also on the lookout for any that I can get rid of, which is more difficult than you would think. That is that section done. Let's move in to this one, and I think we're going to be able to tell whether I need more bookshelves or not. Following on from the same, we can put any favourite authors and TBRs. I think I'll just go TBRs because that's all my favourite authors in there. crazy hair today. Okay. I'll record a little bit more and then show you the final result. So here we are, the sort of final result of my arranging. So special editions are on the top shelf. We've got Robin Hobb. Then we've got some Tolkien. Then we've got some Brandon Sanderson and Robert Jordan there as well. And then we go down into my hardbacks that I have read. There's a couple of extra there, sort of double booked, double parked. So favourite authors and books that I have read. And this is going to be basically the TBR bookcase. So they have been arranged alphabetically by the author's surname. Quite a few books. There's a few double parked. And then it does lead down to then in this section that you can't see whenever the doors are closed, I have read these books. So there we go. Still have lots of extras, so I do think that we need to maybe think about getting another Billy bookcase. Some of the extras are just sitting on one of my old bookcases, as you can see, so there's a big height difference. So yeah, these are all my Garth Nix books and a few other little YA fantasies there. So there we have it, the finished bookshelves, or as finished as they can be at the moment. I think it's still a little bit of a work in progress, but they will do for now and they look beautiful. I did unhaul some books along the way. The main reasons for that, I'm just not going to read the book again, really, was the main one. And the other main reason, for example, I had bought a special edition and I just didn't continue to buy those editions in the series. So they gotta go. So let's take a look. The first one is Agatha Christie's The Mirror Cracked from Side to Side. I don't have any other in that edition, so it's gone. Anne of Green Gables. I also just don't collect these beautiful cloth-bound Wordsworth editions. I loved the book and I kind of just want to keep it, but I don't have any others, so I can't really justify it. I did start watching the TV series as well, and I did quite like it. It was a little more rustic than I was expecting. Another one is this lovely anniversary edition of Sandra Clare's Clockwork Angel. This series, The Infernal Devices, of her Shadowhunter series, it's just not my favourite. I don't really enjoy it. So I'm going to get rid of that one, as well as the little box set of that series. This is taking up loads of space. And as I said, I don't really like that particular series, so I'm being brutal and it has to go. Another one was The Library of Shadows by Rachel Moore. This was a review copy. It is a Harper Teen. It is really good. Beautiful cover. I love the cover. But I'm not going to read it again. Another Agatha Christie. They do it with mirrors. And Halloween Party. I generally use the library for my Agatha Christie's, and I managed to pick those up along the way for the Read Christie Challenge. Again, though, don't have any more in that series. The only other ones that I am keeping are nice cloth-bound editions that I have been collecting. So I'm going to get rid of those two. After You'd Gone by Maggie O'Farrell. Started to read this, but it was a DNF for me. It's just not the type of book that I really enjoy. Then American Spy. This was one I was actually reading recently by Lauren Wilkinson. I DNF'd that one as well. Not what I expected, which was a shame. The Rachel Incident by Caroline O'Donoghue. Now this I loved, but I'm not going to read it again. So someone else really deserves to enjoy that. So that's going on to the vintage. Calm the Fuck Down by Sarah Knight. I've read the other one that she had, so I feel like I've probably read that one. It's going in the bye-bye pile. I'm not really in my Calm the Fuck Down era. The next one is the Left-Handed Booksellers of London, and it's a lovely spread by Garth and X. Love Garth and X. Was an absolute staple of my childhood and growing up. This was supposed to be his foray, I think, into adult, but I just did not get that vibe. It was still very YA, and I just didn't enjoy it as much as I thought, and I didn't even buy the sequel. So, How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix, another little spread. I really enjoyed this one too. But I'm not going to read it again, so it can go to a better home than mine. And finally, The Curse of Sins by Kate Dramas. I have this entire series in hardback, so this is a dupe. So it can go. It's also been a busy day. I've been out and about. This morning, I went to the Book Dragon Book Club, the very first one. And it was so nice, a bunch of really lovely people, and we all talked about what we were currently reading. So it was really fun to hear a little bit about what people liked and what they're reading right now. So that was great fun, and the girls who are running that were super, so it was really nice to meet them in person. It totally got me wanting to read and buy lots of new authors that I hadn't heard of, or ones that were on my TBR, to bump those up a little bit. And I did have a voucher to use for my local bookshop, so I did buy some books. I'm supposed to be on a book buying ban, aren't we all? So the first one that I bought was Stay for a Spell by Amy Coombe. The cover got me straight away because it reminded me of The Spell Shop, which I absolutely loved. So that just sucked me in straight away. The blurb on it is one curse, 7 princes, and a bookshop you'll never want to leave. Princess Tanadel of the Windemar, who knows, is disillusioned with life as a princess. She longs to build a life of her own making, preferably involving lots of uninterrupted reading time. Tandy's dream comes true when she finds herself cursed to remain in a rundown bookshop until she unlocks her heart's desire. She finds it easy to exchange balls for teetering piles of books and an irritatingly handsome pirate who seems bent on stealing her stock. She even starts to believe she stumbled into her own happily ever after. There's just one minor problem. As Tandy's royal duties go unfulfilled, her frantic parents start sending princes to woo her, each one of them certain their kiss will break the curse. After all, what more could a princess want but a prince? So I think that sounds really lovely and very cozy fantasy vibes. So we shall see. The other one that I bought, again, kind of got sucked in by the cover, which I know you're not supposed to, but I did love the blurb then when I read it, is A Dark Forgetting. Look at that. It's beautiful. By Kristen Ciccarelli? Not sure how to pronounce that, but it is beautiful. And the blurb on it is, sing us a song of the forest, of the wood king who rules there, and the test he demands. I think that's how you pronounce that. No matter how far Emmeline Lark runs, the song of the forest reaches her, luring her away from her dreams of the stage and back to her small town and its superstitions. But every superstition is rooted in truth, and when her grandfather goes missing, Emmeline will be forced to return to Edgewood and the forest beyond. There, even Hawthorne Fell, a brooding tith collector, cannot dissuade her from her path, a path that will lead her into the court of the fabled Wood King himself and into a fairy bargain with the deadliest price. So it kind of sounds like, not predictable, but, you know, like like a fae book, with all of those kind of traditional tropes that would come along with that. So I really enjoy those. So I thought that sounded really good. And then our daughter picked up a few kids' books. So I will share those with you. We got Tractors in Space. Because why not? Why wouldn't there be tractors in space? The Scarecrow's Wedding. And classic felt Where's Mrs. Ladybird? Because they are her favourite little bugs right now. Quick reading update then. It's halfway through June, so I'm currently reading The Fly Half and The Fling by Lesriona McMaster. This is a Northern Irish rugby romance, and is basically about a girl who finds out that her fiance has been cheating on her, and it starts in medias res on her wedding day as she exposes the truth of that. She heads off, drowns her sorrows, has a fling. Unbeknownst to her, the sports journalist who basically tried to take down her family when he was researching a doping scandal, her family were not involved, but he still went after them. So her family really, really gets him. There's a picture that goes out of them kissing, and this is a huge scandal for her, her club, her family, everything. The PR team suggest that basically she needs to date this guy to do some collateral damage. I don't know if that's the right word usage, but basically to try and turn it around and make it a more positive thing, she needs to fake date him. So can we see where that's going? But I'm really enjoying it. Lesriona always writes complex characters that have a lot going on. So we've got daddy issues, we've got PTSD, and that's all only within the first 100 pages or so that I've been able to tell. So really enjoying that one. And I am also reading on my Kindle the latest Donal Ryan, which is who is an Irish author. This book I don't think comes out until August, but it's Where Are the Kings? Donal Ryan is one of those authors, a bit like Marmite, you'll either love him or hate him. He writes very lyrical Irish prose set in rural Ireland. So yeah, just one of those Marmite authors. I really enjoy his writing. This one is about a child and how they deal with grief, following on from their mother's suicide, from what I can tell. I don't typically like to read such serious books or books that deal with grief or bereavement or anything like that. I'm very much a fantasy person, or a little bit of romance, or romantasy or fantasy romance, all that kind of stuff. All fantasy genres tick my box usually. But every now and again I do just like to read a little bit more of a contemporary book. And I do like Donal Ryan's writing style. I was also at an author event with him, and he's a lovely person, so really interesting to listen to. And I've enjoyed other books of his so far. So currently reading that one. That's a NetGalley review, as I said. It replaces one that I finished recently and need to write a review on, which was The Recruit. Didn't enjoy it quite as much, so I'll let you know how my thoughts on that whenever I get a review together. The other one that I am reading at the moment is the final instalment of the Stormlight Archive. That is Wind and Truth by Brendan Sanderson. Obviously it's a chunk, nearly as big as my head. All of them generally are. This is like 1,300 pages long. The previous one to that, Rhythm of War, was like 1,100 pages long, and took me a really long time. I was pregnant and had a child, but still took me ages and ages and ages. So I don't want this one to take quite as long, as it finishes this era of the Stormlight Archive, and I've made it kind of a goal of this year to make sure I'm finishing these series as I go, because I have too many books on my TBR off series where I haven't even read the first one, and I'm just sort of auto buying the rest of them, and I might not even like the first one, but when I bought, I'm like, I need the whole series. So need to get stuck into series and finish them. So I'll be really proud to get the Stormlight archive done and dusted. So that brings us to the end. Hopefully you've enjoyed something along the way. I'm learning as I go. I hopefully will get better. I'll hopefully say a lot less. You never notice these things until you're recording yourself on video. But yeah, see you in the next one.